Welcome to Above the Rest Outdoors. This week, we're going to keep it all in the family. We're going to be hunting the great state of Montana for elk, and man, do we have some good hunts to share with you. We're going to start off with a good friend and my taxidermist, Waylon Janoshik, as he and I pedal our way on bicycles into the backcountry chasing elk. Next, we'll follow my 14-year-old son and I, Warren, as we head into the same area, seeing if Warren can fill his first elk tag. When we get done in the mountains, we're going to come out, follow my wife Karin into the breaks country of Montana, see if she can fill her elk tag. It's mid to late September, the elk rut is in full swing, and to say the least, we are pumped about elk season. We were so pumped about elk season, we decided we were going to ride our bikes 6 miles back, carry our camp with us, and try to hunt some elk that don't see a lot of pressure. So let's catch up with Waylon and I on the first afternoon of our first day. It's official. I'm elk hunting. You couldn't ask for a better start to a hunt. As we were riding in, the chain on Waylon's bike came off. So I was waiting for him standing on top of this little hill, and I heard a bull bugle. So as Waylon and I are trying to make our way around this big knob and get over to where I heard that bull bugle, we've only been hunting for about an hour and a half, and here's two bulls, all by themselves, and they're not very far away. Now I've killed several bulls with my bow, so normally two bulls of this caliber wouldn't get me very excited. But it's September 26th, and I've only got 4 days to hunt. I promised my 14-year-old that I'd take him next week, so I don't have any more time to chase elk. So I told my cameraman, make sure you hit the record button, because the first legal bull that steps in front of me, I'm shooting.
Get right here by these rocks. See how they'll got caught. Right by those trees. That way if he comes out here, then I can shoot him right here, and or he's gonna come right underneath. Yeah, but if it ain't perfect, we ain't doing it.
So Waylon and I get set up in these rocks. I throw out just a couple cow calls. Sure enough, here come these two bulls.
They're right down here coming up. They're gonna come right here.
Proper sleep is essential to your health. Hi, I'm Jennifer Hagan. At Sleep City, we're dedicated to improving your sleep. Nothing does this better than pressure-relieving memory foam from Beauty Rest. Sleep City has 48 months free financing on all Comfortpedic, True Energy, and Beauty Rest Black mattresses during our biggest memory foam event of the year. Sleep healthy on a Beauty Rest during the memory foam event at Sleep City.
I always took my quiver off.
I always took my quiver off.
I used to hunt with my quiver off.
Why do so many bow hunters detach their quivers? To avoid accuracy affecting torque. Tight Spot is the first low torque quiver. It fits tight to your bow, is extremely lightweight, and means virtually no torque.
Now, I hunt with my Tight Spot quiver on.
It acts as a stabilizer.
You'll shoot better with your tight spot quiver on than you ever did with your old quiver off.
Tight Spot, the quiver that fits tight to your bow.
Matthew shooters Lee and Tiffany Lakoski know that it takes years of hard work cultivating, planting, and managing quality food plots to produce the right hunting environment that attracts monster bucks.
With the helium, got my biggest buck to date on the ground. And that's why I shoot a Matthews.
Matthews, trusted by more serious hunters and professional archers.
And that's why we shoot a Matthews.
We just put the hex on one and smoked him.
He really doesn't need to smell my hat, does he?
Hex Stealth Screen, scientifically changing the way hunters stay undetected.
If you're a hunter, you're part of a great legacy of conservation leadership. I'm Craig Morgan, and I'm inviting you to help me carry our legacy one step further. Join and support the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, a conservation unit for hunters and people who care about wildlife, wild places, and outdoor adventure. So join us. Here's how.
Above the Rest Outdoors is brought to you by these fine sponsors. When we left, Waylon and I had only been hunting about 2 hours. We'd already had our first 2 bulls within bow range. I had already told him, if we get a legal bull within bow range, I'm taking the shot. Well, I have to say, this 5-point bull standing broadside at 12 yards, he's very tempting. But this half a rack that's 6 yards away, he keeps making me think maybe I could wait one more day and see what we can get into.
Yeah. The one was 6 yards. The other one was 12 to 15. But they were just so small. I mean, they were dinky. I don't care. My cameraman is telling me I should have shot because the road's right there and it would have been easy to get him out. Well, that road is worth 7 miles back.
Road or no road, this is the kind of decision that can cause a guy to eat his tag. But I made the decision to pass. I just thought, I'd like to see what tomorrow brings. So we pick up in the middle of the action on the morning of day 2. Now we're only a couple 100 yards down the hill from where we had that encounter last night, but this time we have found that big herd we were looking for, and they're just out in front of us. Now here's something that doesn't happen on your average elk hunt. My cameraman is trying to tell me that there is something wrong with the wireless mic that I'm wearing. He's getting some crackling sound or something like that, or he's not picking me up at all. I don't know what the problem is. In the meantime, I'm trying to call to these elk that are out in front of us. And the reason this is such a panic situation is these elk are heading toward an area where we won't be able to follow them. So if we don't get a bull turned around and headed our way pretty quick, we're going to lose them for the whole day. I think I'm going to have to fire this cameraman as well. He's got a cord hanging down in front of the lens. He's having all kinds of audio issues. But right now, I can't worry about it. We need to move up. So that's what we did. We moved up a little ways, found a big tree to try to hide beside, and tried calling again. we left, this big bull had just bugled, started heading our way. But I got a big limb sticking out on this tree. I almost have no cover, so I'm thinking there's a real good chance this still may not happen. And remember, God likes elk.
Oh, Lordy. What has killed us a bull? Stay on him. He's going to go down. He's got to go down right there. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that just worked. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I went right through his shoulder, but he came out back. He's not a quarter two. But I can see blood all over him right here. Oh, gosh, I'm so excited. He came right to us. Yes, he came right to us. He's down. He's down. Thank you. Thank you. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, how awesome.
I cannot believe how pretty that is, that he's in the sun and he's bald.
Waylon, I mean, I thought for sure this limb, I told him when we got here, I was like, I gotta break this limb. And look at this. I can't move it. And so he comes up and he's standing right here and I'm looking through this limb and I'm going, no way. And I'm going, what is the chance that he'll keep coming and walk over to us and give me enough of an angle? And I had to let him come. And then I'm like, how am I gonna draw? And he looks the other, he didn't look completely the other way, but enough I felt like I could get away with it.
You did. I couldn't believe when he looked the other way. He was looking right at us.
I was ready to cow call if he started to move, but he didn't. But I want to make sure I find my arrow should be laying right there. Right there, head upside down. Holy cow, look at the blood.
This was incredible. We had packed our camp in 6 miles on bicycles, and on the first morning, we got us a beautiful Montana elk already on the ground. Point are his fifths. You know, he come up to those. This is why I bow hunt for elk. You know, it's not about the rack or the head. It's more about that chess game you play with them and the experience you carry away with you. Now, I mentioned earlier, God likes elk. But he must like us too, because if that big bull doesn't turn his head and look away, there is no way we are getting to full draw to shoot this bull. Now, I mentioned earlier that I might have to fire this cameraman. I also mentioned that my cameraman's real job is a taxidermist, so I kind of looked at it as maybe it's in my best interest if I don't say anything about any of that until we get back to the truck. Let him finish caping, quartering, and packing most of my elk out. Then maybe I'll let him know that he's fired. Well, I am a dad of my word. I had promised my 14-year-old son Warren. The next week was all his. We were going back into the same area, see if I can call a bull in for Warren. So Warren and I rode into the same area, only to figure out pretty quickly that big herd of elk that we had been hunting last week, they had moved on. So we figure what we're going to have to do is make lots of setups, keep glassing, see if we can find a few stragglers that are still in this drainage. Problem with this technique means a whole lot of work, a whole lot of hiking. We'll see if Warren's up for it.
Darn elk. One low price, plain and simple always. It's the philosophy that sets our dealership apart. Hi, I'm Jared Gandard, owner of Kalispell Toyota. Our philosophy came from you. We listened to what you liked and disliked about buying a vehicle. You'll find our best price clearly displayed on every vehicle on our lot. No back and forth, no sales gimmicks. 18 or 80, good credit or not so good. You'll get the same best price up front, in writing, every day. Best price, another reason why Kalispell Toyota is #1 in Northwest Montana.
Independent tests confirm that the pins on a black gold are 20% brighter than the next brightest bow sight. So bright that we had to use photochromatic technology to dim the pins in bright light. In low light, while the pins on other bow sights are growing dim, the pins on a black gold sight are still perfectly bright. Be the last one out of the woods at night. Get a black gold sight.
When you have a hunting question, we have a solution. When you want to know when, where, or how. Most of all, why should you believe us? We make our living looking for your answers. AboveTheRestOutdoors.com. Above the Rest Outdoors is brought to you by these fine sponsors. When we left, Warren and I had ridden back into the mountains. We'd been there for 3 days. We had tried all kinds of setups, but we really hadn't even been close to getting a shot at an elk. But here it is, the last day, about the last 2 hours of our hunt. Looks like things might be changing. We have found 2 bulls all by themselves out in this big meadow. Well, it takes a little coaxing, but we finally get them to turn around and start heading our way. About this time, I realized the bigger of the 2 bulls, he's been coming the whole time. We just didn't know it because he was directly behind the big tree we're hiding behind.
He's back from the tree a little bit. You gotta go the other way. Easy. Still. All right, hold still. All right, here you go. All right.
So there's a lesson to be learned. When a bull elk is standing 30 yards away and he's not moving, he can hear even the slightest whisper. As quickly as this bull appeared, he disappeared.
Oh gosh, dang it.
So did Warren's hopes of killing an elk that year. It's tough when you hike around that much and put that much effort into trying to kill one of these big animals. But the only explanation I could give Warren, God likes elk. But I also told him, don't worry, son, because God likes you too. You know, we love hunting the mountains of Montana, but we also enjoy hunting the arid open lands of the breaks type country. And to be quite honest, that can be where the state of Montana has some of their biggest elk. So let's catch up with my wife Karin as she's chasing elk in the breaks of Montana. We'd made a couple calls from on top of this ridge. Almost immediately we see a bull coming across the canyon. Only thing we can do now, set up right here. Warren's filming, Karin's shooting. I'm going to try to back up on the other side of the hill, see if I can pull the bull over toward me. So this is what happens when your 14-year-old hasn't killed an elk and he's been forced to become the cameraman and mom has taken over as shooter. But I have to say, I agree with Karin 100% in this situation. She had a set distance of 40 yards and she wasn't going to shoot anything over that. When that bull came in, he was just on the other side of a bush that she had ranged at 40 yards. And when this bull didn't come on the closer side, she elected not to shoot. In my opinion, Karin made the right decision. If you have any doubt on whether or not you can make a shot, it's a shot you shouldn't take. She did the right thing in my book. If more of us would make decisions like Karin did, we'd have a lot less missed shots and a lot shorter tracking jobs. Hey, thanks for watching this week's show. Remember, God likes elk, but he likes you too. If you don't believe me, next time you go hunting, just take a look around. You'll see what I mean. Next week, we're heading to the frozen ground of Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm going to be carrying my bow. Karin's going to be carrying a muzzleloader. We're going to be hunting with a good friend, Grant Kuipers of Buck Paradise Outfitters. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
This is high-speed footage of the Ripcord Code Red and a competitor's fall-away arrow rest. Both fall as designed, but watch what happens to each launcher arm after fall-away. Ripcord's drop-dead brake stops any launcher bounce back, while the competitor's launcher arm bounces back up into the arrow. This will affect arrow flight and broadhead accuracy. Eliminate launcher bounce back with Ripcord Code Red, the #1 fall-away rest.
If you're a hunter, you're part of a great legacy of conservation leadership. I'm Craig Morgan, and I'm inviting you to help me carry our legacy one step further. Join and support the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, a conservation unit for hunters and people who care about wildlife, wild places, and outdoor adventure. So join us. Here's how.